welcome back to the Home Print Studio. Have you ever finished a print and thought it looked a little stilted and stiff? It does happen to all of us. Printmaking can sometimes trap ideas in a long process, leaving the final image feeling a little bit still. So that's why I like to add little touches at the beginning, the middle, or even right at the end that bring back movement, spontaneity and joy. Today I'm going to share a few simple ways to do just that. So they don't take complex tools or processes, just a pinch of artistic courage, and they can bring real soul back into your work. So this is the third and final video in my mini-series on adding energy, focus and movement. So if you missed the first two, go and check those out. I'll link them in this video. And just a heads up as well, I am going to be doing a YouTube live stream, probably a couple of them, on the 18th and 19th of October. That's a weekend. And I'm going to be monoprinting live, doing live monoprint landscape prints. And that is going to lead into 3 days of being able to buy my course, my video course, Landscape Impressions, for the discount price of £67. So if you're interested in that, register down below for the live stream. You're going to get notified, reminded, and you will also get an email reminding you that the course is available at the discount for the 3 days. So you might want to do that if you're interested. You can read all about the course at the link as well to see if it's right for you. I'm Ruth and I am an artist, printmaker, teacher, and I make videos from my tiny shed studio in Bristol, UK, helping artists to deepen their practice through hand printing at home. If you want to hear from me more regularly with inspiration, how-tos and your free guide, Start Printmaking Today, then do join my email list. Link is down in the description below. Right, let's get printing. Okay, so I've got a palette of colours here and I'm using my usual oil paints. And the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to, this is an old, very old print on sort of Japanese paper, and really it's just a drift of colours, various colours. It's got a bit of carborundum in the background there, but you can hardly see it. I'm going to add a horizon line here in quite a bright colour. And the way I'm going to do that is by rolling some ink out and then taking off the ink I don't want to make a nice horizon line, but I'm going to leave some of that ink on to show my handwork, hand movements and gesture, and that creates movement. So I'm rolling the ink out here, and then I'm just going to get a bit of kitchen towel, and I'm going to create my horizon line just by taking some of this ink off. I'm just going to do it in sort of one pass to start with. I mean, I'm doing this with the horizon lines because I am a landscape artist. I tend to do horizons and things like that. But you could, of course, do this with any kind of line. It could even be in an abstract work. It would work the same. Now, I don't know if you can see that so well, but I've not taken all of the ink off. There's still there's ink enough to show where I've sort of wiped away, and that creates a little bit of movement and a little bit of gesture. The next thing I'm going to do, because I'd like a straight line at the bottom here, I'm going to mask out a straight line with some scrap tissue. So we should get a nice straight line at the bottom, and we should get a little bit of movement here. So I've just sort of folded the paper back so that I can place it exactly where I want it. Just going to use another piece of scrap tissue here to protect my paper as I burnish the print, take the print. Now I could have measured and I could have just put the ink where it was going to go onto my print, but I haven't done that. So I can either crop my print down afterwards or maybe leave it as it is. It might be quite nice going over the edge like that. Okay, So what's happened is not much of that wiped ink has come off, but this has printed here, and a little bit here as well. I'll bring that up to the camera. And it kind of creates, for me anyway, it sort of creates a vibration almost, an energy and a movement. You can see where my hand's gone. A bit like when you do a lino cut and you can see where you've carved, the direction you've carved. So I really like that. So don't take all of your ink off when you are monoprinting. And one more thing, this is the ghost print on tissue paper of the same ink. And you can really see those movement marks here. So it's just a thinner paper, picks up the marks a little bit more. So next up is something that I really like to do. I don't recommend it straight away often to people because they have a tendency to put too much paint or ink onto their surface. But it's what I call painterly printing, and it is literally putting ink on and not rolling it. So literally I'm just putting some of this lovely sort of acidic yellowy green on. And you can see that I'm getting some real movement there, just from the way my hand's putting it on. And then I just print that. So no rolling, no thinning it out. So you've got quite a lot of thick. I've got oil paint on here, but it could be ink. So you probably, especially if you're using thin paper, you probably won't need to really press hard on this. Let's try it here. So I think I'm literally just going to use my fingers to apply a little bit of pressure to the back of the paper. And with thin paper in particular, as you've just seen, it will pick up, hopefully, that movement. And I call it painterly printing because, you know, it really does look like as if you've painted onto it. Yeah, there we go. Now, because that's not particularly tonally contrasting, it's a little bit difficult to see. But you can see what my hand has done. It picked up the movement in this direction, going across. And yeah, you can actually see what the paint's done. Now, last but not least is something I call, well, I guess it's messy rolling. I've put a little bit of quite light paint out here, and I'm going to roll it with my roller, but I'm not going to get a nice even roller full. That's not really the plan. The plan is to get an interesting roller full of ink, and or a nice bit of ink there. Now that's quite nice. I like that. Can you see that's not a full roller full at all, but I'm getting interesting marks on the roller and on here. So I can try using both of those things to print. Let's have a go first of all just with the roller. And I'm going to use this, I often use this to do sort of ripples and the movement of water. So it can be, because it's so uneven, it can look like ripples. You can't really control it. This is where the courage comes in. And there's a lot of ink on here already, so it's not going to do exactly what I want it to. But you can see that almost looks as if it's light reflecting on water in sort of interesting ways. And it almost looks as if it's rippling. So it's soft movement. It's not really, strong movement, but movement nonetheless. And I think it kind of almost tricks the eye into thinking that it is movement. We've got a nice amount left here as well. I'm just going to take that bit off because I don't like that bit. But let's see if that will print too. I'm just going to have a go printing it over where I've just rolled it. Okay, let's try that. And again, quite a lot of ink on here, so I might just use my fingers. Let's have a little go with the Baron. Okay, let's see if that's printed. Yeah, beautiful. So it's just very uneven rolling of ink, and you can either roll it straight onto your paper with your roller, just like that, or you can sort of put it onto your surface. This is just a big piece of plastic, and then print from there. But yeah, like I say, really great for sort of ripples, water, reflections, things like that. Just gentle movement into your piece. Well, I hope that has inspired you to elevate some of your work from a little bit still and stilted to joyous and spontaneous. If you'd like to hear from me more regularly, then do join my email list. Link is below. You can also sign up, register for my live streams. I'm going to be doing live printing on the weekend of the 18th and 19th of October. So do that. Link is below as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.